This is my 1986 Audi 5000 CS. Today I'm going to be doing a plastics and trim restoration. I'm going to be using a very simple three-step process for this restoration. Part 1 will be a simple clean and degrease of the entire working area, meaning all the plastic and chrome trim pieces. Step 2 will be the application of the actual products. And step 3 will be a quick wipe down. Step 1 of this process will be a simple clean and degrease. For this I'll be using just some soapy water. This should take care of most of the grease and grime on there. There are some leftover paint or adhesive residue marks on the side of these trim pieces. For that I will be using a specialty adhesive remover or just some paint thinner to hopefully get that off. That will take care of step 1, which is the full clean and degrease. Once it's clean, I will move on to the actual product application. For the plastics and all the black plastics, I'll be using this Ultimate Black Plastic Restore from Meguiar's. That should bring back some of the deeper colors in the black. On the harder side plastic trim pieces, hopefully one coat will be enough, while the more heavily worn and more porous bumper, I think I'll have to do more than one coat. For the application of that plastic restore, I will just be using a simple brush. Brush in the restore and let it soak into the plastic for 5 minutes or so, and then I'll just wipe it off with a microfiber towel. For the chrome trim pieces, I will be just using some metal polish. They're in pretty good condition, but I just like to give them a quick shine up. That should be it for step 2. Step 3 is the simplest of all, which is just a quick wipe down and get all the excess product off, meaning the soaked in black restore. Wipe that off. Like I said, I might have to do a second coat at that point on the bumpers or the plastic pieces that didn't come out as well. But yeah, that is the basics of the process. Let's get to work. I'm going to start with the soapy water degrease. I'll be working in smaller sections like that. That way it's easier to manage and nothing's going to dry out quickly. Soap that up. Now I'm going to agitate it with a brush. Get all the chrome pieces I'll be working on. Now I'm going to repeat this process around the entire car and then rinse it off. With this, you just want to make sure that you get in all the corners, get in all the crevices, make sure that everything is nice and agitated. That way you're not gonna have any crap back left in there that you're gonna seal in with your leather restorer. Alright, now for these adhesive residue lines right here, I'll be using this simple adhesive remover. All I'm doing is I have a clean towel right here, spray a little bit on there, I take that and I just clean away the residue. Working pretty good. Got one little spot left. All good, and I'll keep repeating that around the car to get rid of all of these little lines. I degreased the entire car, including the grill piece, plastic pieces up here, the mirrors, all these metal trim pieces and plastic pieces along the doors, the back window and the back bumper. Everything is degreased, so as soon as I get rid of these marks, I'll hit the parts that I removed the adhesive on again with the degreaser, just to make sure there's nothing left on there. And then we can move on to step number 2, which is the product application. Here we go. All of the residue stains are removed. Some over there on that side, and then there were a lot over on this panel. Now there's nothing. Alright, let's move on to step number 2, product application. For this step, I'll be using this little trick. This is just an old bolt container that I cleaned out on the inside. I'll fill my plastic restorer liquid in here, put just a little bit in there, that way I can take it with me and it's not as big of a pain as the applicator bottle itself is. That way I can just dip my brush in and apply onto the car. Alright, let's do this. Now moving on to step 2, product application. You want to make sure that for your plastic black restore, your plastic trim pieces have to be completely dry. So I'm going to wait a little bit just to make sure all of the excess water from the degrease has dried off, and I'm going to start on the chrome polish. For that, I'll be using some simple aluminum metal polish. Very simple process. All I'll do is apply a little bit to a rag, a little bit of the compound, and then go and give the chrome a light polish. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Make sure that I don't scratch the paint. Get too close to the paint. Also don't want this stuff on the rubber, because it might compromise the look we get later, so I might clean that up just a little bit again before. Now, wipe off all of the polish, and there we go. So nicely polished chrome trim piece. So I'll be repeating this process around the car, on all these trim pieces, all these little chrome trims around the windows, windshield, back window, up here, these little chrome pieces, the Audi rings, and see if we can bring this chrome back to life a little bit. It's not in horrible condition, but it's not gonna hurt. Alright, now that I've polished up all the chrome pieces, it looks nice and shiny again. I'm gonna move on to the actual plastic restoration stage. For this, again, you want to make sure that all of the plastics are nice and dry, no water's left on there, so that will compromise the product. Also, you want to make sure that you really take your time. If you rush this, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look up to the potential of what it could be. So yeah, my little trick here, not really a trick, pretty simple, but just take the product, put a little bit in here, that way I can take this wherever I'm going on the car. Now you want to take a clean brush. Doesn't have to be a great brush, just a relatively clean one so you don't put particles back in there. And then you want to relatively generously apply the plastic restore product to your plastics, and then you want to let it soak in for good 5 to 8 minutes. Make sure that it's soaked into all of the pores of the plastic, and then you simply wipe it off with a microfiber towel or something. But this makes the application so much easier than to try and do it with a towel. First of all, towels aren't as precise in terms of the little nooks and crannies that it'll get into as a brush, and also makes it far more of a pain in the ass to constantly replenish the product on the towel. This is very simple. You just dip and go. So yeah, I'm gonna do this around the whole car, all the trim pieces, and you will magically jump to the wipe down. Alright, so here we go. Finished the entire product application stage. I did all of the bumpers, the grille, the side trim pieces, all of these door trim pieces, little rubber gaskets, the back bumper, and the mirrors. I ended up doing both the mirrors and the front and rear bumper twice. I didn't even wipe down in between. I just put a second coating on top, just because they were the most worn, as well as the door levers. Also did those. Alright, so now I'm gonna let it sit for a couple more minutes, and then I will begin the wipe down stage, which is stage 3. There you go. Here you can already see I started a little bit. This section is already nice and wiped down, and here we still have some excess product on there. Step 3, the wipe down. Just as simple as the application, if not simpler. All you want to do is take a microfiber towel and rub off all of that excess product on there. Because you really want to make sure that you get it all off. It's gonna be a little bit sticky to the bumper, but if you keep rubbing and massaging it, you end up getting a nice uniform shine to the plastics. Obviously, not gonna be able to restore it to 100%, but it's already worlds better than it was. So yeah, let's keep going. Get this nice and shiny. In this step, you also want to be very careful and take your time, because as you can see, there's all of these little spots underneath the trim where it's hard to get to, where there's a little bit of excess material, and on that stuff you also want to take your time. Just make sure it's all gone, otherwise you end up with almost like a bad wax, or where didn't take your time in a wax and you got white spots all over the place in the corners and the crevices. Just keep wiping it off. You can see this is 100 times better than what it was before. Alright, let's keep going. Door handles, trim pieces. I'll have to go over the windows, because you can see I leave some nasty marks in the windows, but that's easy. Plastics are the priority now. Yeah, you can see it starts off almost wet. It takes a few runs over it until you really get rid of it and really massage that last bit of material into the plastic. this is looking really nice. Door handles. I'm gonna finish this up and then show you the results. Here we go. All finished wiping off. And honestly, I'm pretty surprised. Very good result. Most of the plastics came right back to a beautiful black. Especially the front bumper surprised me. And the rear bumper. Because they were so heavily faded, and now it's a real black. Here the grill looks very nice as well. This was pretty faded before, now it's nice and shiny black. Back bumper looks very good. Yeah, I'm satisfied. I hope this helped you out. It's a very simple process. It'll take a few hours. If you take your time, you're gonna end up with a really good result. Yeah, give this a try and bring your old 80s cars back to life. Now moving on to step 2. You want to make sure that all of your rubber pieces are completely dry after you just degrease them, so I'm gonna wait a little bit to make sure it's completely dried off, and start on the metal section, the chrome pieces. Do another walk around. So you can see all of the white pieces are removed. All of the black looks nice and black again.